So, all of you have heard of Darwin, right? In terms of the evolution theory of the survival. What we have come off in today's day and age with technology changing on a daily basis, literally daily basis, right? Of digital Darwinism. So, if technology is moving faster than the thinking processes of humans, that is what is called as a digital Darwinism. So all of you have seen the scenario, right? That you have like a million plus apps in your app store or your Play Store. But do you all know what all you can use? How can you apply? Let's say all of you have interacted with a Google Home and an Alexa, right? Or a Siri. Now, how many of you actually have a complete connected ecosystem at home? Many of you may have bulbs at home, right, that you can switch on and switch off with Alexa or Google Home. But have you been able to connect your geyser and your microwave and your washing machine and your entire coffee machine on top of it? And have you set a schedule? Right, most all of you who have used it also know that it has a schedule set up, so at a certain time you can switch on or switch off pieces. But when technology goes beyond the realm of operating and the understanding levels of humans is where this situation comes in. So today we are in that age, right? And essentially what has been happening is that you have been evolving, but you have not known how to put it into implementation. So understanding is one thing, but how to put action and execution to it is going to change the face of pieces. And with that, what has arrived is the entire CX revolution. Basically, anything that you do on a day-to-day basis can be automated, right? Which is why Google Homes and Siris and Alexas exist. You can get up and switch on and switch off your light. But when you have somebody else to do that for you, and because it's a repeated task and saves you some energy and time, you opt for that. Just like an automatic car, instead of switching gears throughout, can you make it simpler? That's the evolution of humans. Can you make things simpler, easier, and not repetitive? And when you apply it on a broader perspective, it basically means that anything that you see around you, whether you're driving a car, you're filling up fuel, you're walking into a store and buying something, can you make it easier? Now, that is what the customer experience revolution today is called. So, broadly, this is the evolution of CX, right, of the ages. You basically will see from the time that you had shopping on a laptop, which was made possible, let's say, 10 years back, right? And from that, then you got on to shopping on apps. And then from there, you went on to shopping on multiple devices to now on Instagram. And now, all of you basically go into a store and tap a card and make that payment. How do you think that essentially happens? That a certain plastic device, when touching another plastic device, can execute an action, or you entering four digits on your screen is basically going to deduct some money from your bank. From making donations to God to getting your favorite chai or anda, or basically buying your perfume across. Digital is the way you're moving forward. In fact, you walk into any village in India as well, you will still see that that guy has a Paytm kar do or Google kar do ya phone pay kar do as a operating structure. Now, this is made possible by technology. Now, in technology, how do you break it down? All of you know about cloud, you all know about languages, you know, all know about platform and product and so on, right? Now, what do you call a bot in the digital space? Called a digital bot, but it is nothing but a combination of scripts that are put together to execute a certain action. Now, executing a certain action with a combination of, let's say, a schedule or with an integration with a database is what a bot does. And the classic example of you making payment at a petrol bunk or at a store, right, is that a certain bot is carrying some information of yours from point A to point B, but in the right channel, in the right path. It's like, almost in simple words, if you pre-configure a drone's track and say deliver X from Y, it will basically go and complete that whole action. So the gigabot economy, which is already here, so all of you will be shocked on the number of times that you would have used yellow or you would have used bots in your day-to-day basis. So on a normal day, an Indian citizen in a metro city uses yellow AI bots at least 7 times, or in a non-metro environment at least 2 times a day. And I'll show you essentially how, right? Today, while this is basis on simple, uh, the base understanding of this platform is on NLP. So how does language understanding work, right? It works on a tech called natural language processing. All of these scenarios that you see between Siri, Google Home, Alexa, or Cortana, and all of that are based on this. So there is an algorithm that basically understands what you speak, processes that, and puts it in the binary code and say this is the action that this means. Now, over time, this has become better. Obviously, all of you in the ages would have seen that from 4 years back to now, Google understands your voice a little better because the database in the backend has now become more stronger, richer, that it can execute tasks by understanding your voice, your partner's voice, your mother's or father's voice, and accordingly know that this is the person speaking to me. And then it basically processes what you are speaking to actions, depending on who you essentially are. Now, I would insist that after this session, you guys go out and Google on GPT-3. So GPT-3 is the newest thing in the world of NLP, right? It is not yet launched because there is a lot of risk around how it can be used. So there's a very restrictive usage around it because it can create a lot of bias. It can create a lot of, it learns from what you speak and then creates outputs on top of it. So when Tesla will launch the humanoid bots, you can go and research on that as well. They will all be operating on GPT-3. So, and almost every platform today offering this is on a GPT-2 environment. And we are all getting there to ensure that bots can understand, learn from how you speak, what your tone is. So if you say to a bot on let's say on Google Home that I think I'm feeling low today, can you play something for me? Now, the bot will understand and go back and see that you have regularly played tracks from an ex artist. And because you're feeling low, and the algorithm says that this track has X beats per minute, and it could be a little more peppier number, he'll go out and play that for you. So that is way NLP is going to change the future for all of us. In fact, experience creation has been such, right, that even brands like Rolls Royce, who basically have the best product on the market, but still have to evolve and resolve and come into the conversational AI domain to ensure that the customer experience takes care of pieces and for brands out there. So when I said that, we touch you 10 times a day. So from the time that you woke up, I will basically try to give you in a day's like a day in the life of yellow, right? At some level. So when you applied that Colgate onto your toothbrush in the morning as you woke up, we basically are supporting Colgate to drive with children a habit of brushing on an everyday evening or morning basis. To when you picked up your morning newspaper, the Indian Express basically runs on yellow. To when you got your milk packet from, let's say, Mother Dairy, the packet that got delivered, the backend automation was with us. To when you basically went on and switched on your geyser, brands like Singer, Crompton, etc. are operating on our platform. To when you put your breakfast cereal on your table, Kellogg's is on us and yellow. To when you went out and thought about what do you want to wear, everybody from Aditya Birla to all your top 35 clothing brands are using yellow and interacting with you on a regular basis to see and give you a right preference of choice. To when you took your Ola to get to your place, the system that integrated and engaged with you was on yellow. I can go on, right? From filling fuel to the car that you drove to the before you went to sleep, the medicine that you had. We are basically supporting healthcare brands to decide and see how insulin can be registered to you or what is the right vitamin supplement that you may essentially want. So, in simple words, there is no industry or vertical that is not using it. Are and is your career ready to walk into this gigabot economy? So this is the global citizen's life that basically we wanted to show you, right? That any brand that you pick up your jobs in, or your next employment is going to be, will have a bot sitting there as your new colleague. Is your career ready to take that on? Do you know how to operate it? We at Yellow, being pioneers in this space today, one of the top three global organizations, as spoken by Gartner, are automating this for close to 1,000 plus brands in 128 languages. So all of you saw the Shah Rukh Khan campaign with Cadbury's, right? So something like that is what we essentially do, so that you can understand that in your language of choice, on your channel of choice, whether it's Instagram or WhatsApp, and doing that in 30 days from when a problem statement is given to us, and on 65 different channels, whether you want to take it on a WeChat or a Line or a Viber or a Signal, all of that is something that we incorporate. And we are amplified and spoken of by Gartner as one of the platforms of choice. When, for example, 5G comes into India, you will see signals that are automated. Now, pieces like that are going to be automated by us. When you walk into an Adani airport in Bombay or any other city in the next 1.5 year, instead of a security personnel from the airport staff, you will have a bot that will scan your boarding pass and let you enter or open the door for you with IoT. So that is what we make possible, right? In the days of Netflix, where everything is today needed now, your new future boss or project manager or team leader is going to ask you on the skill sets you have. And when you put onto the table that you know how to operate an automation led bot, which can be made in 30 minutes, you are surely going to get the best of the projects that that employee is going to offer you. And that is because, irrespective wherever you go, right, each of you is today wearing a different colored shirt or top and is preferring something different. There is no two communal interest that a human has. And how do you ensure that in the clutter of 80 apps on your phone, 10,000 emails that you have, and the 200 SMSs you get on a daily basis, I can get your attention? The new attention span is 3 seconds. Can you capture your user in those 3 seconds? The only way possible is to customize what you show them, right? And the new fuel, like data was a new fuel, the new fuel is going to be the algorithm of persona of your user. You all may be obviously aware. Well, there are benefits to that as well. Now, data is taken so that you don't see junk and you see things which are important to you. And companies who possess that data in the future are the ones who will make it faster than the rest of them. And you, as change makers in that in the future organization or in your own startup, is going to define how that is basically happening and integrating with your channel of choice, because you are no longer going to make a phone call, you are no longer going to send an SMS, you are going to possibly do something very different. Did you all know that Facebook is going to launch new augmented reality glasses along with Ray-Ban in 2022 mid, which means that the next time you go to a mall, whenever the COVID era closes, you will be given at the entry point of that mall a glass so that you can digitally shop from a brand versus walking into a store. And how is that experience going to be created? That is a new channel. You all don't even know that that exists. But that is the way customer behavior is changing, and you need to constantly evolve along with it. And when we say whatever you want to do, whether you are a premium brand or a mass brand, all of that can be amplified to take your journey from basic CX to a revenue standpoint. Everybody is wanting to create money out of whatever they do at some level, right? Whatever you offer in the market, the end goal has to be that. And that is what we help you achieve, from doing acquisition of awareness or converting the user towards from any channel of choice, possibly delivering a product to you. So any of you basically who have either shopped from brands like Adidas or Puma or Aditya Birla or so on, will basically see that the whole journey from the time that you search for your product to the product being delivered to your doorstep is automated by a bot. There is no human involved in that space. So that is the end mile closure of a delivery that can essentially happen. And all the pillars which my colleague Apurva will basically show you on how this magic happens, right? How do you connect those dots to light up that experience bulb is what Yellow puts onto the table. And the biggest of all, voice is going to change our future. In the future, where today you are selecting a favorite song or setting your morning alarm or switching on your light bulb at home, everything from walking into an ATM and not having to type your PIN to asking that ATM to send money to a user or asking your device to do that is the future that we are already working on. It's not even in a pipeline. There are teams that are working on testing it to see how you will not need to touch an ATM in the future at all. And with that, especially in the banking and the fintech spaces, where voice will play an important part to engage with the user, authenticate the user, revolutions are changing, and that is what is going to define whether your bank will get you as a customer or no. And well, in the healthcare space, all of you know somebody who is a diabetic, right? What is the biggest uh, thing that a doctor prescribes to you, right? He tells you this is your drug, this is what you need to take these many times a day. And especially in a long term basis, you need to ensure that you take it on time, which is what differentiates a successful treatment versus something that fails. In almost not even in the future, even right now, you go get a hypertension prescription by a doctor, he will ask you to log into a certain site and subscribe to a certain bot that will tell you what do you do in case of a certain heart feeling. So you will get a bot prescribed to know and follow up with you at regular intervals to check with you if you've taken your medicine or tablet of, let's say, insulin you need to have basis what you just ate and the calorie count. So even healthcare is changing in this domain. And I won't get in the technical details, but this is broadly the larger structure of all the modules that connects the dots for you. And Apurva will take you through how you need to think when you come across a problem statement, whether today or in the future, and what all is possible inside the platform that can build you your own bot. And how do we make all this possible? Typically, just like a simple circuit board, right? Everything is connected. So your database, your customer support engine, your ticketing tool, your entire ERP or supply chain. How do you think your products arrive to you on the next day delivery on Amazon? There is something connecting the dots between your name, your database, your number, your payment details, etc., and so on. All this has to talk to each other to ensure a successful closure essentially happens. And all of this comes pre-built inside the platform within when you decide to build something with us. And also along with the latest, if any of you are aware of RPA, the bots that basically are automating legacy tasks is also something that we pre-combine with. Obviously being security and data compliant with the needs, and a simple set of examples, right, that we today do. If you are going to have a pizza or beer this weekend in any pub or bar or deliver it at home, you will talk to yellow.ai. So everybody from Budweisers to Kingfishers to Coronas to any Domino's or Pizza Huts or KFCs or Burger Kings, they are all operating on our platform to give you an experience of choice. Two, if you drove a car out or are deciding to pick one up, the bot that you're talking to, in fact, I'm assuming a lot of you know Royal Enfield very well. Royal Enfield's entire new models which are going to be launched, don't ask us for the names, but will be from yellow.ai. And we will show you how simple bots are basically made on the same example that Apura will give you. If you basically decide to fly anywhere and decide to book a ticket on Indigo, from keeping the airline crew and pilots safe in the sky to helping you book and on book your own tickets or complete your web check-ins or ensure that your baggage tags are being printed, yellow.ai is supporting this entire process in the backend for you. Or whether your parcel from FedEx or DHL came home there is a bot from Yellow that is talking to you, talking to the systems in the backend to make that possible. One of your favorite brands out there possibly is the entire end mile commerce story. So for all of you fans of James Bond and of Deepika Padukone, we'll basically see that campaigns that are going to happen with Adidas in these spaces, or shopping for your favorite Adidas originals or Puma originals, is happening on yellow.ai bots. You women out there, from Olay to L'Oreal to Color Bar to Oriflame, our bots are prescribing you basis your hair type, the region that you are in, whether you colored your hair or didn't color your hair, and what treatment or next preferred color, or the right shade of lip gloss or eyeshadow or makeup that you should be doing for a certain look. So bots are getting to that kind of a customization layer. And today we help construct and deconstruct all the pillars of experience for the user, irrespective of the domain that you are in. I will leave you with this and hand it over to Apurva to take you through how this basic magic is made, and wish you all success in your careers where you will come across us. It's a guarantee. You have to decide whether you make it a mainstream path of your career or you will learn it as you go along. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, guys.
Thank you so much, Mukesh. That was a super insightful session. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's able to see me. Hi there. I'm Apurva Srivastav, and I'll be taking you through our platform, and I'll tell you about all the amazing features that are there in the platform that will help you build your amazing AI bots. But before we get to that, people have been asking a lot of questions about certificates and what is going to happen post the session recording. Let me answer all of those questions very quickly. So we will be sharing across this evaluation. Actually, let me put it across over here to everyone right away. So we will be sharing across this evaluation form, if you see over here. So everyone who is attending this session today, they all are required to submit this particular form. There are a few questions asked about what sort of a bot, if given a chance to you to build a bot, what sort of a bot would you like to build using the platform? And on the basis of your submissions, the deadline is 14th of November, 12 p.m. On the basis of your submissions, team at Yellow will decide who all get to be a part of an exclusive 4 days workshop, where we will tell you step by step how to build your own bot. We'll be digging deeper into how you can build your own bots, and all the people who will be shortlisted will be getting the certificate from our end. Right. And yes, the session is being recorded, I guess, and Venkat Pratik, they'll make sure that this reaches to you guys as well. Let's start with the session then. Apurva here, a very brief intro about myself. So I am actually a chemical science engineer from IIT Patna, and then I have moved into this whole tech consultant domain at Accenture. I've worked solutioning various things for mega chemical industries like Dow DuPont, New Farm, etc. And then I have moved at Yellow AI, where I've been building bots for over 2 years, building bots for various companies like Mukesh was telling you about, Adidas, Pepsi, Sephora, etc. So while this entire journey of mine, while being building bots for the last 2 years, I've realized that bots are one of the major building blocks for a company or a startup, or it's a new way of communicating with your customer, with your employees, with your end user, whoever it may be, right? So without wasting any more time, I will quickly jump onto the platform. I hope my screen is visible to all. Maybe quick yes or no would really help. I'll try to keep the chat box.
Yes, Apurva.
Okay, awesome. I will just hide this. Okay, so even before we jump onto the platform, let me show you a couple of bots, how chatbots actually look like, what all Mukesh has been talking about since a very long time. Let's first take a look at our own bot that is there on the Yellow AI website. So this is the Mia bot. Okay, a chatbot can be floating anywhere across on a website, or it can be on your WhatsApp, it can be on your Facebook Messenger, or any other social media channels that you are on. So this is a website bot that you see in front of you. And as soon as I open the bot, bot, there is a brief introduction about the bot. There are a few things about the company, and there are a few options given to me on the basis of what I could be interested in. So I can go ahead and click on the buttons over there. I can get my questions answered. The bot might ask me a few questions on the basis of which it will do whatever intent it is supposed to do. So this is a very simple lead generation bot where as soon as I say I would like to know more, it is asking me for my details, and on the basis of my details, it's going to give me a few more suggestions, so on and so forth, right? Let's take a look at other business-oriented bots. Like for Bajaj Finserv, we have built this another bot called I Am Blue. And this particular bot is on the Bajaj Finserv website, and it can do a lot of things. Like you can get your account details, you can apply for a loan, you can get important updates from the bank, and so on and so forth. You can even start typing questions, and the bot is going to tell you what are the different kinds of loans, or I would like to apply for a loan, and the bot will be smart enough to answer all of those questions and tell you, okay, we have all of this different kinds of loan for you. What kind of a loan would you like to go ahead with? I can take, say, personal loan. It will get either direct me to the correct website or ask me a few more questions about the details about the loan, and so on and so forth. So an entire process for which you would have to go to a bank and ask a bank associate, get your paperwork done, a lot of back and forth could have had happened. All of this is summarized into a simple conversation on the bank's website, which can also be replicated on other social media channels very easily. Even for it can be done over a voice call, and so on and so forth. So that was Blue for you. We'll see a few more bots maybe by the end of the session. I'll quickly come back to the platform. So this is the Yellow AI platform. I'll quickly jump into maybe one of the bots over here. So this is the platform. Once you log into the platform and create a bot for yourself, there's a very simple onboarding flow where we ask a few questions while creating the bot. And once the bot is created, you land on a screen like this. I hope I've been audible. And Pratik, if there are any questions regarding what I have been speaking, just feel free to mute out and let me know.
No worries.
Okay, awesome. So don't get overwhelmed by the screen. This particular platform, it has been curated over the years on the basis of what all features were requested by various. We have over 700,000 over brands with whom we have collaborated, and on the basis of what all kinds of features they require to understand their customers better, to respond to their customers better, a lot of features have been added onto the platform to help our customers and our brands, right? So this particular platform that we are looking at right now, it's a complete no-code platform. Everything that you would want to do to build a great customer experience, great conversational experience, you will be able to do it without writing a single line of code. This is the overview screen of the platform. And here, if you see on the very left-hand side are the major modules of the platform, major modules where you will be able to either build a conversational flow in the studio section. I'll quickly go to the studio section and show you how it looks like. So this is the studio section where you will be creating nice flow diagrams and stuff. Let me show you one of pre-built flow diagrams in any of our bots over here. So this is the, let's go to the development environment very quickly. So this is how a conversational flow would look like, where you would have a lot of steps. It's basically a flow chart where you can add a lot of queries that the bot might ask and how the bot would respond to those queries, and so on and so forth. So Studio is basically where you will be creating the conversational steps or journeys where questions will be asked by the bot and answered by the user, or questions will be asked by the user and answered by the bot. Then we have our own database section where you will be able to store the details of the user. And then we have our own growth section where you will be able to see how all the conversations are being curated, how many conversations have happened within a day or within a week, in which region of the world are those conversations happening, which are the most triggered journey or which are the most triggered conversational flow diagrams. And so on and so forth. It's very important. If you are creating a nice app, if you're creating a nice bot, you would definitely need to know more about how the bot is doing, what are the analytics or numbers behind it, and the growth module can help you understand the same thing. Then we have our own inbox. So inbox is a tool where even if you make a very smart AI enabled chatbot, sometimes you might need human assistance also to support it. Like Iron Man, basically, you need someone at the back to help for it to handle edge cases and so on and so forth. So inbox can help you redirect customer queries to an agent or a live person or customer support teams. And this particular dashboard allows people to be able to do that. Here, people will be able to get tickets from the agents, answer those queries. And there are a lot of optimization tools available in Inbox so that the whole amount of time taken by a support agent to answer customer queries is very, very less. Then we have Engage. Engage is a module in its own where you will be able to set campaigns. Basically, you can have email campaigns, you can have WhatsApp campaigns, and so on and so forth. Campaigns meaning that sending out a lot of emailers or WhatsApp messages to a huge number of people, say thousands of people in one go. So that is that is something you'll be able to customize and automate using the Engage dashboard. And then ours is an omni-channel platform. So whatever conversational flow that you create in Studio, you integrate it with a database, you integrate with Inbox and Engage, all of that can be replicated on any of the channels that are there in the world. Like if you create a WhatsApp bot, a flow for a WhatsApp bot, you'll be able to easily replicate it on Facebook Messenger, on Microsoft Teams, on Telegram, and any other social media channel that is out there. And then we have some configuration settings also available where you will be able to share access of your project, your bot with your colleagues, with your friends, and let them collaborate with your bot. We have a lot of out-of-the-box integrations available. So there are a lot of backend systems out there, right? Like Salesforce or Segment or Azure and so on and so forth. These are companies where big enterprises store their data to create leads or to just manage a lot of data. So you will be able to integrate with these backend systems, and you will be able to fetch details from these systems and show it in the chatbot. Or when a user is asking a particular question, you can send these questions to the other system, other backend system, and so on and so forth. You can integrate it with Shopify. If you have heard of Shopify, you can create e-commerce websites on Shopify and so on and so forth. So you'll be able to integrate it with Shopify, and you'll be able to create an entire ordering flow. You'll be able to send orders from the bot to Shopify and so on and so forth. So this was a very, very brief overview about the entire platform. There's, of course, a lot to do, and we will be doing that in just 1 minute. I would just like to know if there are any questions, any jargons that majorly people did not understand, because there's, of course, a lot of industry and chatbots jargon that I have been using. And just to make a note, we will be after the whole after the session, a form will be circulated. I think I already shared this the form somewhere up in the chat. A form will be circulated on the basis of which folks will be shortlisted for another 4 days of a more hands-on workshop where people will be building bots. So in those 4 days, we'll be jumping into all of these sections much more in detail. Yeah. Okay. So now what we will do is in the next 10-20 minutes, we are going to build a very simple bot. I'll take an empty bot this time. So this particular demo bot that I have created, it's an empty bot and does not have any journeys so far. And we will create a few journeys. We'll create a few conversational flows and see how a chatbot can actually be built on the platform. So I hope everyone's here with me, and yeah, in the next 10 minutes, some real good magic is going to happen.